concentration and insight. We can roughly divide meditation into two categories, concentration on the one hand and insight on the other. A pure concentration practice would be to choose some particular thing, whether it's the rise and fall of the abdomen as you follow your breath, or the sensations in and out of the breath taken around the nose and mouth. If you just pay attention to those sensations, ignoring everything else, and become as absorbed as possible into those sensations, that would be a pure concentration practice. Another pure concentration practice would be looking at a visual object. So you can, for example, take a painted disc or even a bowl or a saucer and just put it someplace and stare at it and become very concentrated, very absorbed into that. That would be a pure concentration practice. An insight practice, on the other hand, would be to pay attention to things as they change. So you're paying attention to the moment by moment changes in your experience. So an insight practice is the noting practice that we teach here. That's an insight practice. If I say hearing, itching, and then, for example, if I just watch this itch, if I stay with it and say itching, 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 and notice that it's changing. It's not a static thing. It's a process. Sometimes the area of itching gets bigger, sometimes it gets smaller. The intensity of the itch changes. And eventually, of course, it goes away entirely. If it didn't, at this moment, you would be continually, you would still be experiencing every single itch you've ever experienced. You'd be nothing but one big itch. So obviously these things go away. Everything goes away. This aspect of change is really fundamental to what we are paying attention to. And it's one of the things, the very noticing of this change is what is doing the work. This is what's changing the way your brain functions, to function in a way that will be more conducive to being happy. Concentration and insight. It's a truism in meditation circles that if you just concentrate, there's a possibility that you won't have much change in your life. That what you'll have is this well-developed skill to become absorbed and to have a very pleasant experience while you're concentrating, but it won't necessarily lead to awakening, what the ancient mystics sometimes called awakening or enlightenment. If you want to get awakened, if you want to get enlightened, you have to do insight practice, or some combination of insight practice and concentration practice.